welcome you to our monthly board meeting of April. So if you'd all please stand and we'll recite the pledge together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Clerk, can you call the roll?
Yes, sir, I will. Bruner.
Here.
Ellis.
Here.
Farnham.
Here.
Lawton.
Here.
Ludington.
Here.
Patrick.
Here.
Voigt.
Here. Thank you. We do in fact have a quorum. In fact, everybody is here. So next we move on to the minutes from the March 10th regular meeting. You've had that in your packet for a few days. Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, I'd entertain a motion to approve those minutes as presented. Andy moves, Phil seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They do carry. Claims against the county. Board members, do you have any questions or clarifications that you need to have for those claims? Okay, hearing none, I would accept a motion to approve the claims as presented.
So move.
Dan moves, and Russ seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They are carried. County board member claims. You've had those for a few days. Are there any questions or clarifications needed? Hearing none, I would accept a motion to approve those claims. Phil moves. Andy seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. They are approved. Next, we move into the portion of the meeting for public comment. We ask that you simply identify yourself and try to maintain 5 minutes for comment. Are there any public comments at this time before the board? Okay. Next, we move on to highway. We don't have any highway, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Yes, Dan? Oh, I thought you had a question.
No, I was talking to myself.
Again?
See now. I need to retire. I need to retire.
You gotta have a little levity every now and then.
It gets a little solemn in there.
We have a resolution to amend the Medicare payments made to folks on Medicare. Like I told you at Monday's meeting, we had the clerk's office kind of do a quick survey of the folks on it to see what they were paying, and we have not adjusted that since 2013, and the resolution allows for it to be increased by $25. Are there any questions? Hearing none, could I have a motion to approve the resolution, please? Dan moves. Do we have a second? Russ seconds, please. And would you call the roll?
Bruner.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Farnham.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
It does carry, thank you, unanimously. Okay, next item is to appoint Ray Young to the Board of Review with term expiring May 31st, 2023. We looked at that, and as a whole board, we may have somebody wanting to leave the board next year. Obviously, it will be up to them. But, and remember, we have to keep a 2-to-1, depending on how the election goes, it's either 2 Republicans and 1 Democrat, or 2 Democrats and 1 Republican, depending on who's the highest vote getter at any particular election before that term has to be appointed. So, Ray's been on it for a number of years. They have to be trained. They have to go to training at the state, and they have to be certified. So it's not an easy position to fill. Dina's always looking for interested people. And at this point, Dina thought this would be the best fit, and so did I. So I would accept a motion to approve him, and that would be Carl Farnham. Do we have a second? Russ seconds. Thank you, Russ. So, is there any further discussion? Is that a roll call, or is that a, okay, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay?
Nay.
It does carry, unless you want a roll call vote, anybody. Okay? Next, this, hopefully soon, we'll be getting information from the census, but before that, we need to appoint a committee to look at certain questions that we have to answer. For example, are we gonna maintain seven people on the board? Are we going to maintain districts versus at large? Those are just a couple of the questions. So I wish to appoint Carl Farnham, August Griffin, and Jeff Voigt to the apportionment committee to recommend some of these questions be placed before the board. Is there a motion to approve those? Yes.
Don't your precincts are based on so many people, right? Like we had to split one year?
Yeah, they have to be plus or minus within a certain
Okay, this one,
criteria. In other words, just say all of our precincts are 1,800.
okay.
And then the new census comes out and one's at 1,500 and one's at 2,000. Then we'd have to do something to move it around so it was more in parity with.
Yeah, we did that 1 year with a.
Yes,
precinct somewhere, didn't
we did with one or two precincts, yes, in Paris. Does that answer your question?
Right.
Okay, need a motion, do I need a motion or a resolution?
Motion.
I need a motion to approve those appointments, please. Phil moves. Andy seconds. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And Augie will get us on the right path and get something put together as far as the meeting, get it
Yes.
posted and everything else, so we can at least find out what we gotta do and when we gotta do it.
I saw
Yes, sir.
something in the Terre Haute paper the other day that they were anticipating getting their census numbers in August, which we have a deadline of July 1st, unless something in Springfield changes things, you know.
UCCI is supposed to give us some guidance on that
Right.
soon. So but we need to go ahead and do certain things.
Right.
And
Yeah.
just because the state or the feds are late, we don't wanna be late,
Right,
okay?
yeah, because then it kicks into another commission and.
Right. So, we need to do everything we can.
Right.
That's within our power, and if somebody else is falling short, I'm just really worried about, by the time we're opening things up for election, we won't even have, or, what do they call it, petitions, we won't even be ready to actually tell them
Right.
where they're at and where, so, at any rate, we'll just do the best we can. Okay,
Yeah,
yes,
this has really nothing to do with this, but, on our wind farm ordinance, do we have any provision for tax abatement? Because around Terre Haute, they're starting a wind farm, and they're giving them 10-year tax abatement. Would that be something we should put in our specs, you think, or?
I think that would be, Lisa might have a comment, but that would be something that they would ask us for, and then we would act upon it. I don't think we wanna volunteer a
Well,
tax
no,
abatement.
I don't think so either, but I just mentioned it. Where it should
I don't
be.
think we wanna take away flexibility either, but
Yeah.
by saying we prohibit it, but, I mean, we probably, I don't know how we would do it, but I haven't seen it in any of in any local provisions of any of the.
Studied or used for
Okay, I just
reference.
wondered, something I don't know
Mm.
if considered or not.
Something to think about, they might ask.
Okay,
Okay,
you good?
yeah.
Okay. Let's see. File Administrative Order 2021-10 to reappoint Joe Good, Jury Commissioner. Motion, Carl moves, Phil seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Does carry. Okay, this is a resolution to reappoint Jeffrey J. Keys, trustee, Hume Fire Protection District. Motion? Dan moves, Russ seconds.
There you go.
Would you please call the roll?
Brunner,
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
It does carry. Also for Jeffrey J. Keys, his office oath and bond for the Fire Protection District of Hume. Motion to approve resolution. Phil, Andy, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
No, that's a resolution.
I'm sorry, I knew that and I even pointed that out. Can you call the roll on that? Since
Bruno.
I'm-
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Carries. Next is to reappoint a resolution to reappoint Pam Dixon, trustee, Brockton Community Fire Protection District. We have a motion? Yes, Carl moves,
Second.
Dan seconds. Would you call the roll when you're ready?
Brunner.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Does carry. Next is to the acceptance of office oath and bond for Pam Dixon. Motion for the resolution, again, Carl. A second, please. Russ, seconds. Would you call the resolution then?
Brunner.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Does carry. Next, resolution to reappoint Gene Moko, trustee, Paris Community Fire Protection District. Again, Carl, Dan, seconds. Motion, resolution, please.
Brunner.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Does carry. The acceptance of office oath and bond for Dean Moko. Phil moves, Carl seconds. When you have a chance. Mr.
Brunner.
Yes.
Ellis.
Yes.
Farnum.
Yes.
Lawton.
Yes.
Ludington.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Next item is authorize chairman to execute commissioner's bond for John McGinnis, Commissioner, Brockton Drainage District, County of Edgar, State of Illinois, dash east ditch. That's easy for me to say. Now, is that a resolution?
Well, it doesn't look like it here the way it's been presented to me, so.
Okay. Motion to approve, John McGinnis's,
Bond.
bond, yes. Russ moves. Phil seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. And Lisa, I don't know how you did it, but you somehow negotiated that without having to make a motion or move anything.
Pretty slick.
Yeah.
Yes.
There'll be a comeuppance here one of these days.
That's right.
I'm waiting on you.
Did you have a pen? Did you bring a pen?
Okay, the next item is to also execute, or authorize chairman to execute the commissioner's bond for Mark R. Baxter, Hughes Drainage District by mutual agreement of the town of Shiloh, county of Edgar, and the state of Illinois. Motion? Andy?
Are you going to or not? I just wanna-
No, please.
Are you seconding that, or?
No, I will.
Yeah, that's fine.
She's
So
got
she
another
wants to keep her
appointment right
record
after,
clear.
So she's gotta get there, but that's it.
You don't have to sign, Lisa.
No.
Oh,
Well, it's too late.
Too late.
Phil's already got it.
All right.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Did you have a question, Carl, that I missed? Okay. Action on accepting bid for the ambulance service. I did talk to Mark, our state's attorney, for a few minutes yesterday. And we are not ready to do that. There's nothing unusual about it. One of the big things is that the attorney has to be acquired by our bidder. And then and it may already been done, but Mark wanted to talk to our bidder's attorney as soon as he could to expedite the deal. Do you have any comment to make on that? Okay. So once things are ready, everybody knows the deadline, or what we hope will be the deadline of June 1, but we'll do the best we can. Mark said he would expedite things, and I know our bidder wants to expedite things, so do the best we can. If we have to call a special meeting to take care of anything along the way, we will. Okay? Any questions on that? Oh, let's see. Officers and department head reports.
Do you need a motion to table that?
Well, it would probably be appropriate, yes.
I'll make a motion, we table that for the time being.
Okay, Carl moves and Andy seconds. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Thank you, Carl. Okay, officers and department heads. My gosh, we actually got some for the first time in over a year here. So, oh, Dana, you're first up.
Okay, don't know if anybody saw in the newspaper, but we did receive tentative multiplier of 1 again. I emailed the gentleman, the flight project manager early March, and he said, oh, those were already done. So the flights are done, they begin quality control and editing now. Should have those in September, and also everything is balanced for the 2020 year, due and payable 21. We will roll to Augie in the next few days, I hope, so that he can begin his work. I see no reason tax bills can't be out at normal time.
Questions of Dina? Okay. You're next, Jill.
We submitted our emergency operation plan to the state. We're waiting to hear feedback on that. And now we are working on accreditation, which that allows us to apply for our grants and things like that through the state. That's due May 15th.
Okay. Thank you. Angie?
I don't have a lot. I had 2 open positions at the beginning of this year, and I filled one, and I'm gonna leave the other one open for a while to see how things go, and maybe I can do without that other person. The audit went well, I thought. I was very pleased with the way they handle the audit, and that's about all I have.
Okay.
I've got a question of Jill.
Yes, please.
Do you have any exercises planned as of now?
We were, like I said, kind of shut down through the state. They weren't approving any exercises. We have to turn a exercise approval form into them. Then we can hold our exercise 60 days like after, so they weren't even accepting those during the whole
So
COVID time.
Later in the year?
Yes, so we are actually planning on we have an exercise planning team, having one of those here probably the beginning of May, and set a date, hopefully maybe late summer, early fall, to have one.
All right, thank you.
Anybody else have a question? Those two I didn't need to plow through there. Okay, coroner?
As far as numbers have kind of started to tick back to a normal year. COVID numbers have obviously dropped a lot. So as far as the coroner's office, yeah, that's really the only big change. Trying to get deputies into trainings have been difficult because a lot of them haven't opened up, or some of them are virtual, which you just don't get what you need out of that. Housing Authority, we just went through our audit, which went great, and we're remodeling a lot of the high-rise, pumping a lot of money into that. Obviously, we get no money from the county, so our money is HUD money, but it's not been updated since it was built in 1980. So we've accomplished a lot in the last several months. But other than that, that's about all I got.
Questions of the coroner?
How many deputies do you have for?
Yeah, you can have, Douglas County, before he passed away last year, he had 20. Don't ask why. But, I find that 4 tends to be a good mix. I don't use them very often. but if I need a night off, at least it gives me a couple people to go through, so.
And you're still out at the hospital?
Yeah, and I love it. It's, yeah, I mean, they were willing to continue that for however long, you know, every time you go out there, there's a new building. But it's, my building's still standing, so I'm thrilled. It's, the garage is separated off now, so I have one bay that's completely, you know, off from the maintenance side. The cooler and the van and stuff, and then the office, it's perfect.
Good.
Thank you. Wyatt, Farm Bureau, do you have any comments to make today?
Nothing, just wanted to touch base, see if you guys need anything on the wind side. Solar wise, we are gonna do a landowner meeting like we did with the wind, that'll be May 12th, and then I'll extend the invite to the chairman, for you to attend, it'll be via Zoom.
Okay, we have started to explore the different counties in the state and what ordinances were out there and what weren't, and once we at least meet some criteria on the wind farms, which we're moving towards now. We also noted, and I don't know whether you noted, Wyatt, that the legislature, House Bill 1602, is out there now and may restrict our ability to actually take care of and take into consideration our own county's wishes. However, we're gonna plow forward like it's not happening, and then we'll have to adjust to what we have to adjust to. Does that sound?
Yeah, that would be our recommendation.
Okay, good. I thought so. So we'll stay in touch closely, and we're gonna come up with a meeting here soon to announce to the public to please come in. We're gonna have some discussion, you know, a month or so prior to the vote, so that anybody else can come forward and give testimonial or ask questions or whatever they need to do, okay?
Yeah, and if you want us to look at anything ahead of time, just let us know, and we'd love to take a look and make sure.
Okay, I'll probably be getting with Josh, having talked to Lisa. We'll get together and maybe have Josh send out, you sent most of the stuff, it's just basically boiled down to our setbacks, okay? Now, I know we're gonna have some disagreement with, as far as what probably should be in the decommissioning, but based upon our attorney, we're doing what we should do right, and it may be an academic question anyway, sooner or later, so.
Okay.
Thank you for being here,
You
as always. Adam, do you have anything to add to your report the other day?
Nothing really new for Monday. I'm in the early phases of setting up basically some kind of training exercise that'll be county-wide. So trying to involve every emergency service for the county. That's obviously a lot of logistics involved, so we're still very early in that, but that is in the pipeline to come.
Is that similar to what Jill's gonna be doing?
There will be a little crossover. I need to talk to Jill to see if we can't, if that doesn't count for some of her stuff, but
I think
it'll
we
be,
need.
it'll be,
It will,
You what,
we'll
Jill?
make sure it does.
We just need, you need to
so
closely
I talked to Jill a
cooperate
little
with
bit the
Jill.
other day, but like I said, we're still very early phases of this project.
Very good. Just no fighting, okay?
Okay.
We got enough problems without creating our own. All right, no, I'm sure everybody is professional and will get along. I'm just more or less teasing, but communication's where it all is, okay? Augie.
I just want to reiterate again how much I appreciate everyone that helped make this recent election a success. It was a low turnout, but behind the scenes, there's a lot of work that goes on. My staff, election judges, volunteers. So I just want to say thank you again to everybody that helped with that. Next week, we will be getting out our certificates of election, and new candidates, successful candidates, need to have those before they can enter office and take the oath. So we're at least 2 weeks ahead of schedule, so I'm very pleased with that. And then the other thing, this is just an FYI, I put at your seats colored paper, it's a single page on IMRF. Their 2020 investment return was 14.69%, and which is a decent rate of return. And ultimately, that helps the employer rate. So the more that IMRF makes, the less theoretically that the employer has to pay. And then down at the bottom there, you can see where IMRF is 93.6% funded compared to a national average of 72%. And again, keep in mind that IMRF is separate from all the other state pension plans. So this
Has
is.
nothing to do with
It's
TRS,
nothing
any
to
of
do
that
with
stuff.
TRS or any of that. So, where those plans are significantly underfunded, billions, you know, in the hole, IMRF is quite the opposite. So it's a solid retirement plan for all of the county employees. So just a brief update there. Any questions for me?
Do you know off the top of your head when the township people take office?
I believe the township officers
That
go in
was,
on the third Monday, which I believe is May 17th,
So around the middle.
just approximately, yes.
Another thing I was wondering, what is the pay rate for election judges?
Not enough.
I know,
Right now, we've been stuck at $115. And
how long has it been at that?
since I've been here, 10 years. So one of the components there is we only receive a small percentage of reimbursement from the state. So, and that number hasn't changed for, goodness, Carl, long before I've been here.
Did you have any trouble getting enough judges this time?
This time around, no. Just, it seems like they know that the turnout is gonna be low, and, so, I mean, it's always a challenge to find them, but in the end, we find them, and we don't need quite as many as we, you know, do during a general election.
I know out at the fire station Vermillion, there was 3, and sometimes there's 5, 4 or 5 in the past.
Yeah, depending upon
Yeah.
the race that it might be,
Yeah.
so. And sometimes people just back out at the last minute, and there's just nothing you can do.
I know years ago, their complaint was not getting enough pay for staying there for what, 12, 13 hours, whatever they were there. Probably 13 or 14.
Well, at least you're there at 5 a.m. and you don't leave till 7:30, quarter to 8.
115 isn't a lot.
It's not very much.
Yeah.
And I've thought about building that into my budget. I'll look into that.
Yeah, something to think about.
And, you know, regardless, it's still a long day whether you know.
Right.
Some of my colleagues are anywhere from the same rate, 115, 120. The larger counties, we're seeing just under $200. So, I mean, we're not too far out of line.
Okay.
So.
Anybody
Anything
else?
else?
Okay. I guess it's time for the board members' reports. Dan, do you have
I have
anything? How about you?
We're working on getting, paying phone tag with, Travis Stafford with Sycamore about putting a couple of units down in the basement. There are a couple extra places to put it. During the summer, it's not a big deal, cause cool air falls, so it then generally stays fairly cool down there, but it became a problem this winter.
Right.
Wasn't warm enough, so hopefully I'm gonna see, like I said, I'm playing phone tag with him right now, so
how are we looking, of course, it's hard to tell how our heating system, cooling system is doing right now. Do the offices, Angie, Augie, do you have
Better now?
It's good now,
Okay.
yes.
okay, and you do have some flexibility built into the things, so you're not locked out?
Right, it's not locked anymore. I can turn the heat on in the morning and then the air conditioning on in the afternoon if I want.
Please, and I know you will, but if you run in the first second you notice a problem, please let either Andy or I, or Andy first and me second or whatever, and let our maintenance guy, he seems to be very good and, you know, he can only do what he can do, but he would let us know or get a hold of Sycamore so that we can get it just right on it, okay?
We're in contact with him every day. He checks in and we talk to him.
That's
He's
excellent,
great.
And Ray gets a hold of me if he has.
That's what I
any
figured.
problems, So.
but please, so we,
This is good.
so it doesn't last more than hours. We
Right.
don't need anything lasting days or weeks.
I
Okay.
felt bad the last time because I wasn't aware of it, and Ray said he wasn't sure, he thought we had it all figured out, but, they just, what we had decided to do, they never went in and did it, so.
Are you gonna go ahead and, do that line, the water line, and get that repaired so it stops leaking?
What's that now?
The line in the floor, we're not gonna go through the floor again. We
Right,
were gonna-
no, okay, yeah, he got with me, and I told him to let me know, I suppose, he probably wanted to wait till maybe we shut the boiler down, so maybe they'll do it.
I'm sure, but I just think that
Yeah.
if you wait till July, you may not get it done this year.
Right.
That's all I'm just thinking that,
I'll get back, he said, yeah, we approved the amount that they charge, it was a little high, but, at least it'll be done correctly, and we'll, I'll reach out to him again and see.
and to go along with that, the, engineering firm is moving into the area we're assessing some of the, infrastructure of the actual building here, from safety and, what do they call it, health, life safety, so forth, which we have to do as part of our assessment for the jail and everything to make sure that all goes hand in hand. So you'll have some feedback on that shortly, okay? Anything else, guys, on this area? Phil? Russ? Carl? Lisa?
You and I had talked about getting with Jonathan Burns and doing a tour of HRC. And our tentative time had been Friday at 4 PM, and then we'd forgotten to mention that any earlier.
Right. So, I mean, we can reschedule. How does 4 o'clock this coming Friday afternoon, the 16th, set with everybody? Is that something you can make or can't make, or?
I can, but everybody else don't.
Yeah, for Andy, it really needs to be,
I'll be
you
in
know, but
Dallas.
just before lunch.
Before lunch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't we try that, like, say like 10 or 11 a day, and that way Carl's not feeding, and you're not driving a bus, and you're not cooking, and, well, I mean, we all got stuff in our lives, so.
We're not cooking primary.
After I communicate back with him, you want me to just let you know?
Let Augie know,
Let me know
And then-
ASAP.
right, we will have to probably, go ahead and even though it's not technically a committee meeting, but we will have to do the proper paperwork so we don't have any issues, okay?
Yeah, if you have more than 3 people, and so we're running short of time, because we have 48 hours, today's Wednesday, it's Friday, I'm gonna go ahead and post it anyway.
Well, we're not doing it this Friday.
I thought you said this Friday.
That was an option,
That was an option.
but then we had forgotten to say anything about it earlier.
I apologize.
No, that's fine. No,
I'll get back with him
I'll
and see
stand
what
down
we'll
until
do.
I hear from you.
okay?
Thank you for clearing that
And
up.
that way, you know, we're good that way. I mean, we all wanna see that place. It's fantastic, okay?
So you're setting up a meeting on a Friday, but you'll let me.
Well, or,
Not necessarily.
no, it could be any day. Is there any day you want us to avoid?
Any day, for me, in the middle of any day is fine.
Okay. Okay. So,
Lifeguard bus morning,
You
afternoon, and
prefer
night.
prefer not
have you
Friday.
been through there, Gary? I assume you have. Have you been out to the new HRC?
We had Samantha Tucker
Which
down
one
to
of
the
the
store,
buildings is
but I haven't
it?
seen
The
it yet.
Well,
old, is it the same?
To,
No, the new one
you
is
were
on the
certainly
house.
welcome, and we couldn't prevent you from coming anyway. But we wanna make sure that you know that you're more than welcome
It's
to
not
go
my
out
road,
with
but
us,
yes, it's
okay?
at Crestwood and back. Closer to the bus line, Crestwood.
Which,
Yeah, that's.
yeah,
that's
sounds
all.
like a hollow thing, but it's not. We enjoy having you with us.
Well, I thought they
Okay.
had, I'll get out and find out the time and I'll finish probably for spring.
Yeah, can you make sure that Gary's aware and also appreciate it? All right, Don still is missing in action today, but I did give you a copy of the budget as of today. And you'll see we got about $308,000 in, maybe you don't see, because maybe that's just on mine. Today, we got $308,000 in from the state for various things, income tax. Last week, we got supplemental sales tax, we got state income tax, local use tax, we got cannabis tax, we got $716 in, so keep buying it.
I
Gosh,
don't think so.
I didn't say, personal property tax, we got reimbursed for the state's attorney and from the supervisor of assessment. So, all in all, if you switch to this page now, which shows your various, in the sundry other accounts, at the very first item is, it says a negative 805, which if you then swing by and look to the right of there, you'll see what it was a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, etc. And you can see some of the things have changed considerably. I want you also to note that in state taxes that we collect, we are currently accruing but have not put into this budget about 1.6 million that we've already, along with property tax. So if we hadn't spent any money, if you just froze it right now, it'd be roughly that 805,000 would actually be more like 800,000 to the good there instead of to the negative, which shows you why that exists, is because we're always behind several 4 to 5 months in some of these incomes from the state, just because of the very nature of it and how they're accrued. We've been getting them in every month, but they've been going to last year because we're on the accrual basis, if that makes any sense to you at all. So we had to go ahead and collect, let's see, December, November, October, September, and August. We were still accruing till this month. We were accruing and counting as income into last year's budget about 1.6 million. So we got caught up with that, but that puts us behind this year until next spring when we catch up again. The only problem that creates, obviously, is, which you go down there about mid-page where it says subtotal of general fees and funds, and you'll notice that we're cash flow wise, we have about 731,000 as opposed to being close to negative or negative the last 4 years. So we're doing okay finally. Carla and I have been on here 10 years and Don says he's never seen anything that's swung to our favor. So everybody working together and getting things done has helped. So at any rate, yes.
The probation, they used to always be way behind. Are they still behind?
Hang on, I'll tell you here. They're about two months behind right now. So they're doing pretty good,
Yeah.
okay? They're doing better than they were, okay? So I'll let you absorb that, and if you have questions about that later on, we can talk about it at the study session or the next meeting or whenever you want to. And we'll try to have these budget pages before you once a month now that we're all caught up on a bunch of different things. The audit is doing well. like I told you Monday morning, the on-site audit is pretty well done. I asked him to call me and, you know, I would call any issues that we have, but unlike last year, we don't seem to have any issues of anybody being behind. And quite frankly, last year, things were behind because of COVID and things were getting piled up and because staff was here and staff was there and it was an unusual year. So we got through that successfully and now things are returning to some normal. Let's hope they stay that way. Anybody that wants to discuss any of this at any time, please, you know, see me or Lisa or whatever, and we can get you some answers. And of course, you can always talk to Don. And you may not recognize him, but he's there. So, anything else? I did ask Mark if he had anything to talk about to us, and he doesn't right now, but sooner or later, we should have something on a couple of different topics. So, at any rate, that's all I have. Okay. Is there any need for a closed session or anything? Do we have anything else for the good of the county that you'd like to bring up? If not, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Andy moves. Phil seconds.
Here's your last shot at that.
All those in favor signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Thank you all for being here. We are adjourned.